There are new allegations against Hillary Clinton and some of her allies. According to the Wall Street Journal today, longtime Clinton friend Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe's political organization donated nearly $500,000 to the election campaign of Dr. Jill McCabe about a year ago. That was March of 2015 now. She's married to Andrew McCabe, now the deputy director of the FBI, who later helped oversee the investigation into Clinton's email use. For more on this, we have Governor John Sununu, former White House Chief of Staff to President George H.W. Bush and author of The Quiet Man. Also with us, we have the judge, Anna Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst. You have the legal and you have the political. Let's start with the legal, Judge. Is this against the law?
Well, no, it is not against the law. I mean, under Virginia law, Governor McAuliffe can make contributions of that magnitude from a variety of entities that he controlled to Dr. McCabe, that's Andrew McCabe's wife, Dr. McCabe's failed Senate campaign a year ago. And under the law, Andrew McCabe, as the #2 person in the FBI, can supervise the investigation of Mrs. Clinton. But there is the appearance of impropriety. There is the appearance that he was aware of the relationship of Terry McAuliffe to the Clintons. Governor Sununu can speak to that. That relationship is well documented. It's political, personal, and financial. And that makes it look like his decisions would be colored by his wishes to please the people that are behind the person who gave this money to his wife. I mean, that's it in a nutshell.
What should he have done?
He should have excused himself from the case because as a lawyer, he has the duty to avoid, quote, the appearance of impropriety. And the appearance of impropriety here is profound. Now, I've got a couple of takeaways here. One is, how did we learn about this? We learned about this from a tip from several FBI agents who were part of the team that investigated Mrs. Clinton, who believe that their work was destroyed by management in the FBI. Hard-working men and women in the FBI who actually gathered the evidence against her, who were prevented from presenting it to a grand jury, who couldn't get search warrants, who couldn't get subpoenas because of decisions made by Director Comey and Deputy Director McCabe. So we really have a situation here that looks terrible.
So the agents were ticked off.
Yes.
And that's why the information is now public. You stand by 1 second here. Let's get the political side of this. And Governor, good day to you. The judge has a feeling that the constant drip, drip, drip of this is already baked into the voting public's minds, and you can throw whatever you want at the wall, but nothing more will stick now. What is your feeling on that when you're looking at an election from 15 days now?
Well, we've got to start talking about it in stark terms. This is another defining example of the culture of corruption that the Clintons have brought to the Democratic Party for the last quarter century. Since 1992, they've infused this culture of corruption, and it is now reaching into the FBI, which used to be one of the most hallowed and respected institutions in the U.S. government. They used to bend over backwards to show that they weren't related to a party, and now you have this action by Terry McAuliffe, friend of the Clintons, putting money into the campaign of the wife of this deputy director. It's unbelievable. The Clintons have created this culture that infused the party, and you had the Democratic leadership trying to stick it to Bernie Sanders. You had the Clintons enriching themselves individually in terms of wealth and in terms of power, and that extension of power is shown by their capacity to influence the FBI.
Let me stop you there, Governor. Dr. Jill McCabe, in a statement, put this out, and it reads the following. My husband had no formal role in my campaign other than to be a supportive husband to me and our children. As a federal official, everyone who participated in our campaign understood and respected that he could not participate, end quote. You just heard what the judge said. He said there is no violation of the law here.
It's not a question of illegality. It's a question of corruption. It's a question of bringing to the political process an aggrandizement of themselves and control of the system. It reached into the FBI, and with all due respect to that statement from the wife of the deputy director, that's just garbage. A $500,000 plus contribution to that lady from the Clinton-controlled operation certainly had an influence on her husband.
She lost the election, but I think the entire campaign was about $1.8 million. Sounds like a lot of money for a state office. Is it, or is that the norm?
And almost half of it funded by the Clintons. You don't think that they're planning ahead in terms of how to influence the process. This is corruption in the Democratic Party. This election has to be an election of change and throwing out this party that has, even the President of the United States today was nurtured and promoted by the corrupt political system in Chicago. Corruption is the keynote of the Democratic Party, and they're trying to convince America that a 15-year-old tape with garbage talk on it is more important than these issues of corruption, including what happened with the server, where they were deliberately trying to hide things from the public and from scrutiny.
Okay, now
this has to change.
On that server issue, Judge, last point. The donation happened in March of 2015.
Right.
That was the same hot month where the emails were deleted, the order came from Congress, and on and on.
That's when the investigation began, and it was assigned to Mr. McCabe, to Director McCabe. Two other points. Terry McAuliffe himself is being investigated by the FBI for allegations of corruption. We do not know if McCabe is in charge of that investigation as well. The governor is exactly correct. It's a question of corruption. It's not a question of violating the law.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Governor. Gentlemen, appreciate you coming on today.